The 5 most common errors I see men make in their 40s, 50s, 60s when they're trying to get in shape. You want to get in shape? I get it. That's friggin' awesome. Go for it. That's really important, honestly. As a mental health practitioner, as a psychologist, a licensed psychologist with a PhD, really, it starts with physical health more so than mental health. So that's great. You want to get in shape. But don't fall into these mistakes. Change your mindset right from the start and do it the right way. So if you do, you'll not only get significant gains, but it'll lead to greater emotional well-being and all that. So I totally support you here. The first mistake that I see men and people, women, everybody make when they're in their 40s, 50s, and 60s is all of their workouts are in what's called the sagittal plane. The sagittal plane is moving forward and backward in a line, and they never cross that. Think about kids when they're young. They can go, if you're a 15-year-old, you can go to the weight room and do sagittal plane movements, right? Bench press, pull up, push up, squat. I'm not as worried with young kids who are just trying to be in decent shape, because they're doing things like playing tag. They're doing things like chasing each other. They're weaving in and out. They're moving in different complex directions. They're picking things up and putting them over here. 40s, 50s, 60s, 70-year-olds, they don't do that stuff naturally. They're not out there and on a lawn playing tag somewhere. They're not bending and getting on the floor and getting off the floor and jumping in the air and high-fiving on a jump, and they're not doing all of those movements. They go to the gym and they're on an elliptical or a bike or a rower, or they're running or they're walking, and it's all in the same plane. And so they're creating hypertrophy, building muscle for muscles that are oriented forward and back, but all the other muscles in their body are atrophying. And so by the time they hit 65, 75, 85, if they're on a slight, they're walking and it's a slight decline, or there's a little divot in the grass or something, they suddenly fall because there's no support muscles there. There's no other muscles to help them in the cross-sagittal plane. And so you really want to train cross-sagittally. That's the number one error. The second thing that people do in their 40s, 50s, 60s, etc., that drives me bonkers, I really worry about them, is they want to get in shape. They go to the weight room. They start doing some resistance training and stuff and such, but they're really not building a stronger mindset. You know, they're really just becoming, to quote David Goggins from one of his books, they're just becoming stronger quitters. And we don't want that. So as you age, it's really important to have stronger mindsets. Most likely when you're in your teens and your 20s, you're doing some organized sports. There's things there to keep you moving, and you should be building better mindsets then. All of this applies to younger people. I get it. But in your 40s, 50s, 60s, you should be building a stronger mind, not just a stronger body. And that should really be an emphasis for you. And if you're not spending any time doing that, then you're just building a stronger quitter. The third thing I see people do is they go back to the weight room or they go back to the gym in their 40s, 50s, 60s. They start doing the exercises that they were doing. And in particular, their goal is to lift heavier and heavier things. And that isn't what's needed. What you want to do is focus on the things, the elements that are going to produce the highest impact. And again, that's different when you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. Again, true of your teens, 20s, and 30s. I'm not dismissing that, but especially for folks my age, where you want to start doing resistance training, but you want to do it with perfect form. You want to build from your ground up. You want to get stronger feet. You want to use perfect form, but you have to focus on things like glutes. I see guys and they're, lifting again and they're focused on biceps and bench press and are trying to increase their weight in those things. You got to focus on your glutes. It should be the biggest muscle in your body. It's kind of gross, but I can't tell you how many people above 40, they work out, they're in good shape. You look at them from the side, there is literally nothing there. their posterior chain, the chain in the back, which really your glute should be the biggest muscle in your body. There's nothing there. There's even an indentation sometimes. It's like, what is happening? You have to train those kind of muscles. So focus not on lifting heavier weights, but focus on the routines that will produce the highest impact for you as a full-bodied person. Number 4, people become active without fixing their form first. If you are active, you're walking, but you don't have good form, well, that's not going to help us, right? Because you're just injuring yourself. So focus on form. That should be a priority. Whether you're running, walking, whatever it is, form comes first. And number 5, people are fooled. And again, this is true of younger people, but particularly true by 40s, 50s, and 60s. People are fooled by the easy gains. And so when you start lifting things, or you start running, you're going to get better kind of quickly. In 2 months, you're going to visibly notice, you're going to experience yourself lifting heavier things, running faster, running longer. Those are your easy gains, and they're going to happen pretty rapidly within the first 2 months. It's going to be a shit show for the first week or 2. You're going to feel like, gosh, I am the worst person ever. But weeks 4 through 8, you're going to start rocking it. You're going to be like, damn, I'm getting better. And you're going to get kind of excited. Don't be fooled by easy gains. You really want to stack your priorities. You want to start with form. When you work on form, not only won't there be easy gains at first, there might be no gains. You're just working on form. I've worked with so many runners, and man, their form is terrible. And what happens after those easy gains is you're going to plateau. And so there's a thing that scientists call the default human ceiling. And if you work, you're going to hit a default human ceiling. Your capacity, your skill set, your strength, your endurance, whatever it is you're doing isn't going to go. It's going to get stuck at that default human ceiling. The only way to get through that default human ceiling is to gain enough knowledge that you can then apply it. And that is things like form, the elements of highest impact and stuff like that. So don't just jump in. I mean, you can just jump in. I get it. But alongside that, at minimum, alongside it, first focus on form. Because are you doing this for 2 months and then quit? Or are you going to do it for a lifetime? If it's physical well-being, you should be doing it for a lifetime, right? So focus on form and then stack on top of form the factors of highest impact. And whether you're talking about being emotionally centered, you're talking about sociability, you're talking about intimacy, you're talking about physical well-being, or success, each of those 5 buckets that I work within with people, they each have 5 factors of highest impact that aren't complex, aren't hard to understand. They're very easy to apply. But if you're not stacking the highest impact elements, then don't do the other things. Stop with the, I put apple cider vinegar on my salad because I heard that's healthy. But you're not stacking the things of highest impact. Those are 5 common errors. You can fix those pretty easily. It's going to take some research on your point. But like anything, I'm here to help. Happy to answer questions. And, there's a lot of times a simple question can get a simple answer. And the results from that are pretty dramatic. So reach out, let me help, or research on your own, but go get it.